All right, let me set the scene. It's 11:47 p.m. You open your laptop, you crack your knuckles, you say out loud, "Okay, now I'm serious. This is the moment. The productive version of you has arrived." 10 seconds later, you're watching a video titled, "Man Builds Entire House Using Only Spoons." Why? Why are we like this? This is where it usually starts. Procrastination, distraction, that weird buzzing self-doubt that sneaks in like, "Hey, before you do anything important, are you sure you're bad at everything?" Because that's the real delay. Not the phone, not the notifications. It's the tiny voice saying, "What if none of this matters anyway?" And then another thought, a quieter one. What if I don't matter anyway? Not in a dramatic way, not main character dying in the rain way. More like, if I stopped texting first, would anyone notice in, let's say, 3 business days? Be honest. Have you ever looked at your phone and thought, "Wow, if I disappeared today, my algorithm would be devastated. But my contacts? Debatable." Yeah, that fear. The quiet one. The fear that you're easy to forget. I know. We don't say it out loud because it sounds dramatic or needy or like you're one sad piano song away from a montage. But come on, we've all felt it. You don't get invited to something. Not intentionally, just overlooked. Someone says, "Oh yeah, I totally meant to text you." Sure, of course you did. Just like I totally meant to start my life in 2017. And your brain goes wild. "Oh, okay, cool, no worries. I'll just add this to the pile of evidence that I am a background character." You start replaying everything. Am I boring? Am I too quiet? Too nice? Not nice enough? Should I be louder? Weirder? Do I need a catchphrase? Should I enter rooms yelling, "Remember me?" Because apparently existing calmly is not enough. I'll admit something. I once didn't text anyone for a week, not as an experiment, just depression with a splash of curiosity. And by day 3, I was like, "Oh, wow, so this is what it's like to be furniture." By day 5, I was convinced I had already been replaced. Somewhere out there was a newer, better version of me. Same personality, but funnier, with better posture. And everyone went, "Ah, yes, this one sparks joy." My brain took it further, as it always does. I imagined disappearing completely, not in a scary way, just politely fading out, like unsubscribing from existence, and life just continues. My job replaces me with someone named Chris. There's always a Chris. My friends still laugh, still hang out, still say things like, "Remember when?" And then they don't finish the sentence because it wasn't memorable enough. Meanwhile, I'm gone, and the world is fine, which is rude, frankly, and also kind of terrifying. Because the fear isn't that people hate you, it's that they don't need you, that you're optional, like a decorative pillow, nice to have, but easily swapped. And the worst part? No one is doing anything wrong. That's what makes it hurt. People aren't cruel, they're just busy, distracted, tired, same as you. Everyone's living inside their own head, worried about being forgotten while accidentally forgetting others. It's like a room full of people quietly panicking, all thinking, "Wow, no one is thinking about me," which is funny in a dark way. Like we're all afraid of being invisible while actively not seeing each other. And then your brain does this amazing thing. It connects your productivity to your worth. Suddenly, procrastination isn't about being tired, it's about being a failure. You miss a deadline and think, "Yep, that tracks." Easily forgettable behavior. You scroll instead of creating and go, "Well, clearly I don't deserve to be remembered," which is wild because some of the most unforgettable people I know take 3 to 5 business days to reply. But self-doubt doesn't care about logic. Self-doubt is a drama queen. It takes one unanswered text and goes, "Pack it up, they're done with you," and you believe it. So you shrink, you talk less, you share less, you stop sending the meme, the thought, the invite. Because if you don't show up, you can't be forgotten, which is a terrible strategy, by the way. That's like saying, "If I never eat, I can't choke." Congratulations, you solved nothing. Here's the absurd part, though. The people who feel the most forgettable are usually the ones who listen the most. They remember details. They show up quietly. They don't demand attention. They're not loud. They're steady. And steady things don't announce themselves. They just hold. Think about it. You don't think about the floor every day, but if it disappeared, you'd notice it immediately, painfully, probably dramatically. Some things aren't remembered constantly because they're foundational, and foundations don't trend. They don't go viral. They don't get applause. They just keep everything standing. So yeah, maybe you're not unforgettable in a fireworks way. Maybe you're unforgettable in a years later, someone randomly thinks of you and goes, huh, they were really kind to me when I needed it. And that counts a lot. So next time you're procrastinating, scrolling, spiraling, wondering if you matter, remember this. Being quiet doesn't make you invisible. Being overlooked doesn't make you unimportant. And being forgettable to some people doesn't mean you didn't leave a mark. Also, you're not allowed to disappear because somewhere out there, someone still has a story that only works because you were in it, even if they haven't realized it yet. Now close the Spoonhouse video, text someone first, and maybe forgive yourself for being human. You're doing better than your brain lets you believe.